All right, welcome in everybody. This is the Fantasy Football Gurus podcast, and today we have an interesting episode. We were going to talk about best ball, maybe some other fantasy football topics, but over the last week, we got a lot of you and others from TikTok to start a fantasy football league. Um, and it's been a bit of a struggle. I don't think anyone read the rules.
Nope.
Three of the is a 12-team league. You and I. And then 10 other
Yeah.
people again from TikTok. Three of the people were inactive right away. A fourth became totally inactive. And yeah, I guess we're just gonna roast them now. Um, Uh, and yeah, I hardly even know where to start.
Yeah. Here's where I'll start. Here's
Yeah,
where I'll start. In theory, everything should have been more or less perfect, right?
yeah,
We had the rules laid out. We expressly said all the rules when people were joining, before the draft started, and so forth. And for those of you watching, the rules were simple, right? It's a Dynasty Superflex league, right? Plenty of spots. With Dynasty, you want to kind of draft a little young. With the Superflex spot, quarterback becomes more important. But the key to this league and the draft was, hey, your draft timer is 8 hours. Now, that 8 hours is for if you need it,
yeah.
right? When it comes to personal life, whether it's work, school, family, the works, right? Um, you could even use it to trade. Not, not to not only bitch about because somebody's using their time because they need it, but it's also not to wait literally all day because the other person was inactive and we just didn't know it yet because it was the first round and it was kind of the working through it. But then as soon as it's time for you to pick, oh, I'm not gonna pick for 6 hours. I know who I want, but I'm gonna sit here for 6 hours and hey, if you send me a good trade, then we'll trade. That is not the point.
Yeah. So talk about being a hypocrite in fantasy football. Okay. Elway, right off the
Yeah.
bat. You know, on Friday we get our 12th person, and now we announce Monday. We're starting.
Yep.
So 2 days to trade over the 4th of July weekend.
And nobody traded. Nobody traded until
Yeah.
the drafts officially started. Let me just throw that part in there. Nobody even mentioned trading
And
until the
like
draft officially started on Monday.
I'm
Right.
sending out deals, rejection. And then Monday,
Yep.
yeah, got some deals going. But then it's like, okay, again, the first person inactive, nowhere to be seen. So 8 whole hours. And then Elway's on the clock. And then, uses whatever, 6.5, 7 hours. It was like 11 o'clock at
Yep.
night when he finally drafted. And then, the people following him, he's like, let's go, let's go, let's go. It's like, dude, you just spent 7 fucking hours. Don't give us that. Oh, I was working. Well, yeah, that's fine, but don't sit there and
Yeah.
rush other people. Like, what is wrong? Like, seriously, what is wrong with the people we're playing with? Like,
Right.
it's just like, once again, like on TikTok, they're all talk. Everything we say is wrong. I,
Yep.
you know, there's other people on YouTube I watch for fantasy football now and then. I copied this rule set from them. Go on Reddit. They use the same rule set, timer, all that. And then it's like you put people on there from TikTok, and it's horrible. But it's
Right.
what the big wigs, or whatever you want to call them, the hot shots play. But I will
Right.
say, for other leagues we do, if it's a free league, I'm cool with moving it down to 4 hours.
Yep.
Straight up.
Yep.
If
Yep.
we play in a league where there is money involved, then I want 8. I don't
Yep.
want any excuses. But yeah, 4 hours.
Yeah.
Just have your guys in a queue ready. We'll make it work.
Well, it's also like we pause, starting midnight Central Time,
Yeah.
to 9 a.m. Central Time. So there's plenty of pausing, right? Not only that, but it's also the league's full. You have 2 days, right? Come up with a strategy, come up with an idea, do some mock drafts. Not only that, everybody in front of you has 8 hours to make their pick. So, just throwing this out there, have an idea of who you're going to pick. And then, if you want to trade your pick, hey, maybe 2 picks away or something like that. Hey, this pick is available if you want to trade for it, or start trying to trade your pick before it's your turn. Don't wait until an hour into your pick to, I want to trade, motherfucker.
Yeah, or hours and hours, yeah, and then turn around and, hey, you're on the clock. Come on, man. What's taking so long? Like, dude, get a freaking life. And you cannot tell me Elway does not seem like Falcon. Like, lately he hasn't been as talkative, but I don't know, just one-on-one when he's like trying to get a trade, dude, it's like day 2 of the draft. Like day 2 of the draft, I just remember I didn't have a second round pick. He was trying to move up in the second round, and I'm just like, hey, if you tell me who you're trying to get, maybe I can help. He straight up tells me he's trying to get Travis Kelce. Like, what the fuck? You've known me for like 2 days.
Right. And it trades all the way up to the fucking front of the second round to get Travis Kelce, which, hey, if that's your guy, right? It's still a reach when there's plenty of other talent that you probably should have grabbed. But he also has older, big names. He is nobody, for the most part, young.
Yeah.
And we can get to the individual teams and stuff like that.
I was going to pull it up later here, yeah.
But it's like, in general, though, manage your time properly. If you want certain players, get to where they're going to be, maybe before, right before they're about to be picked or something like that, or have an idea, have a strategy. I think for the most part, you and I have had a pretty consistent strategy because our picks seem to go by pretty dang quick, and you and I are also the most people to trade in the league too. So
so here's the deal. Like, the mindset I kind of put on with this league, or doing this kind of draft timer, is kind of the mindset I had for Legendary game back in the day. Well, I mean, it's still around, but I only played it back in the day on the iPhone 4 and 6, that kind of era. Civ, Rev, mobile. So playing people online, right, you would have your slower players where it's like I would do 1 turn a day. But it's like I always draft fast. I did my turns fast because, I don't want to give you any information. I don't want to give you any more time, than my opponent needs. Like, hey, I'm looking at the board throughout the day. You're not going to surprise me with some kind of army in Civ Rev. Well, but you never know with me. I might have an army sitting off to the side, and if you're not checking your phone that often, it's your loss when you don't see it coming. Right. So that's the thing. I don't give people information. I just pick and move on. Definitely, feels like the league as a whole is like just focused on next year. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we get to like the end of this season and people are like, "This is a dynasty. We're going in the next season." It's like, oh my god.
Well, why were you trading all your picks the next 2 years?
Why did you even get picks, dumbass? Like,
right. Yeah,
Some people.
that. Here's the thing, right? My favorite thing about fantasy football is the trades and the draft.
Yeah.
This league completely ruined my hype for drafting because of the constant bitching.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I sent you this almost exact text the other day because I just could not believe it. We have never been in a league where at this point all but like one is active, right? In the 12-man league, everybody hates each other and is
Yeah.
just bashing on each other almost 24 hours a day during the week
Yeah.
when people are working to tell them to hurry the fuck up. But then on the weekend, they're quiet
Yeah.
and we're moving even slower.
Right. Right.
Now, I was expecting initially, right, that this draft might take 2 weeks. I was not expecting to only have two picks go in the first day. I thought we'd have, I thought the first round one might go a little bit quicker because it should be pretty cut and dry, right? Who would go in the first round? The
Yeah.
first round took us like 3 days.
Like 2.5. Yeah. Now again,
Jeez.
part of that was because we had inactives that
Yeah,
used the whole timer.
right. um, so that was really annoying. And then we're like 3 days in, and we're not even to like halfway to round three. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ! Just make a pick. Wait, stop waiting till it's your turn because everybody's bitching. And then when it's their turn, they're also taking 6 hours,
Yeah.
and they're wondering why people are bitching at them. Motherfucker, make your pick. Know
Well,
what you're gonna do.
well, and and again, like it just blows my mind the whole like, okay, dude, hurry up, telling people hurry up, and then when you're on the clock, you take hours. Like,
Yeah.
come on,
Ah.
like,
Or here's what blew my mind. The main person that bitches at everybody to hurry up. He has back-to-back picks. He
yeah.
makes one pick and then disappears for 6 hours. You are on the clock.
It says your pick when you have first or 12th, in a snake draft, you have back-to-back picks. You figure by the 5th, 6th, 7th round or whatever it was, he'd had figured it out by then, but obviously not.
Obviously not.
Rocket science, God.
Oh, Jesus.
But it's just like one of those things too. Like, it just blows my mind. Like these guys will talk so much trash on TikTok, and then
Yep.
like, I don't.
That's some of the
not
worst
have
teams
a
I've ever
fucking
seen.
clue. Oh yeah, and again we'll go over it. There's some bad teams.
And I have some like trash talk into you too, because I was like looking at your team too, like, what the fuck is going on here? And I think you know kind of what I'm talking about, and we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But oh, it, I was so hyped. It's like, all right, we have a podcast specific league. Obviously the content and stuff like that. And then all week, I'm like tearing my hair out because grown-ups can't be grown-ups. I've never seen so many mispicks. Oh, I didn't mean to take this. I need this guy. Can you reverse it? Why are you hitting draft then?
Right. I've had to do that like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
It's just so weird.
There's a couple times I've seen it before you, and I just rolled my eyes and was like, yeah, I didn't see it. We're just going to continue this draft. And the one dude took the Tennessee tight end, who I've never heard of in my entire life.
I
And like,
think that tight end was like a 6th-round pick. Yeah.
and he still got taken. Literally a round later. Yeah, never heard of him. He's never going to play. So, good luck with him on your Dynasty team, I guess.
But yeah, one other thing I want to bring up before we look at the teams. So like I said, with this whole setting the league up with people from TikTok, getting nonstop just bitching, drama, just you know, a lot of these people, these kids sound like they're 18 to 22,
Yep.
and just not mature at all whatsoever.
Don't know what they're talking
So,
about.
I think it was the third night. It was like all at once. We had the bad JJ trade. Um, Multiple people bitching about the 8-hour timer. And then I'm like, hey, it's what the big boys do. You know, you guys all talk on TikTok like you're, gurus galore, like
Yep.
we're nobodies. We don't know what the fuck we're talking about. I say like this is what the big boys do. That's why we're playing it. And then I got the 4 images dude coming at me for something you said. No, and that's something too with that guy. It's like when you say something, he's like buddy with you. But when I say something, it's like I'm stupid and he doesn't like me because of something you said. Like that doesn't make any sense. Like how stupid are you? Like, all right, dude. Like I just.
I like the Elway guy. I've pissed him off multiple different times to the point the other night. I swear I thought he was gonna just leave the league or something like that, and the league was just we were gonna have to delete it at that point. But then he's like ha 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 whatever. All right, dude. Just.
But yeah, that third night again, we had the real bad JJ trade. Bad. You fucking told that guy off. Dude, totally deleted Sleeper. And again, right before that JJ trade, he got hosed with Elway. So, like, here's the deal with first-round picks. Generally speaking, I think a future 24 first is equivalent to, like, a 6th-round pick, maybe a 5th. If I think the team is going to be bad, I think it's equivalent to a 5th. If it's someone like Elway competing, or clearly going to be competing because he's picking all older guys, then could be like closer to 10th. But in his trade, it was like a 24 and a 25th first for a 4th and 5th round pick in a startup. Well, that's not freaking fair. And Elway got to move his 9th to the 8th round. So again, bullshit, but it's like okay.
Right.
But then the JJ one was clearly stupid. And then the Josh well, maybe he's trying to get Caleb. Why the fuck would he trade his 1st-round pick with his trash team if he's trying to get Caleb? Does he think Caleb's gonna fall to the end of the 1st round?
Right.
Fucking dumb. Just all around these guys. These are the worst players we have ever played with.
100%. This is not even close to a doubt. You or I are already the season hasn't even started, and it's easily going to be you or I that wins this year and next year because you have 6 fucking 1st rounders next year. Because everybody, after I give you my 1st rounder, now everybody's just handing them to you. If I knew that, I was never going to trade it to you. The stupidity, the strategy of it, right? If I know you're collecting 1st rounders, I'm gonna make you pay for it. Nobody's making you pay for them. Nobody.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have a 2nd-round pick. I mean,
right.
I turned it into 3 firsts.
Right.
But
well,
yeah.
But
I do feel like I guess it's something to remember in other leagues. Like, is like we did some deals, some trades, and then it's like, everyone started trading, and sending out offers. The one guy on the end, whatever his name is, Tavik Knight or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That dude wastes my time with trades. He'll send like, okay, give me your 3rd and your 9th, and then here's my 4th and my 10th. I'm like, okay, why am I trading two pick? Why would I give you
Right.
two early picks for two later picks? Like,
Right.
do you have a brain in your head? Like,
And
I
then
know.
it'd be like, well, I'm moving from 10th to 4th, and you're moving from 9th to 3rd. It's like, dude, no, that's not how math works.
Yeah,
That's not what you're sending me.
yeah. Maybe again, maybe for the people on TikTok, maybe that's your kind of logic. Maybe that's a trade that makes sense in your head, but you're not gonna get the gurus with that kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
Um,
Or, all right. Here's the thing, too. The dude that fucking he sent you Patrick Mahomes for just for Herbert. You know, for the most part, fantasy wise, right? They're close ish on most draft boards, but you do not give up the best quarterback in the league for Justin Herbert just because you like him, because you root for the Chargers.
yeah,
Kind of it's just that's stupid logic, right? Now it's nowhere close to the JJ one that we'll talk about, but it's just like you don't just give up the best quarterback in the league. And the only reason Elway had a problem with it is because he was bitching, if you remember, in the first round, that we would just give him Patrick Mahomes because the other dude was inactive. It's the only reason he was bitching.
yeah, yeah.
So,
So and I want to yeah explain that whack trade. Um, so that was I remember Thursday because I was at Market Fest park there. Checked my phone, a million fucking sleeper notifications because no one will shut up in the chat. Um, this guy at first, hey, I'll trade you Patrick Mahomes for Herbert and a fifth round pick. And not like a 24 fifth. We don't even have a fifth round. It's just fifth round in the startup for people watching. So I'm like, no, I'm good with Herbert. Immediately comes back. Well, man, I'm the biggest Herbert fan. What about just Mahomes for Herbert straight up? And I'm like, I'll think about it. And
right.
and obviously, that is the smart trade to do for me to get Mahomes. But obviously, I was thinking like, everyone's gonna bitch. Like, is it worth more bitching? You're probably gonna think that I got some alt account, and again, that's why for everyone watching, I put links on Discord. I can see just like mods can see when you join, then like how long your Discord's been around. So if you have a Discord that's been around for like less than a day or something sus like that, then I'm kind of alert. But everyone that's joined the Discord, they've had accounts that have been around for like years. So
Yeah.
not too sus. But anyways, I was just explaining why I do that. But yeah, I'm sure. I tried to kind of give you a heads up because I'm not gonna sit there at Market Fest and
Oh yeah,
defend
no.
myself. I was straight up like, hey, I'll just undo it. I don't really give a shit.
Right. And like you're like, hey, here's what he's sending me. I'm like, what the fuck? Because yeah, if you did just like accept the trade, look, where the fuck did this come from?
Yeah.
But it's nothing like the worst trade that really pissed me off. That got to the point where maybe we need to delete this league.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson, who he was the fourth pick,
Third.
or no, third pick for a 2024 first.
And that dude, 2 days before, what does he tell me? Justin Jefferson at third overall is a steal.
Right.
Like, again, Tik Tok logic. Like, what is wrong with you guys?
Right. And then it was like, we couldn't really undo it until after the draft ends. So until then, now we got to think about it. And then 6 different times how to explain. After the draft, it will get undone. 6 times. And then I got 2 messages from 4 images. Hey, Can we just write it down somewhere that we're gonna undo that trade?
We have the
It's
chat
written.
log. Yeah.
I didn't talk in the chat. It's all just I'm typing it. And again, we will undo. We just can't do it now.
Yeah.
And now it's fixed and whatever. After bullying the guy into it and calling him a little bitch, he finally undid it. Um, but
So
it,
another thing too. So that was the guy that did the JJ trade also did the three-way trade with us,
yep.
where you moved up from 11th round to 5th round in the startup. He
Yep.
gave you the 5th rounder to move up to my 2nd rounder,
Mm-hmm.
and then I moved back from,
Two to
I
like
guess,
five.
2 to 11, but then I got your
Yeah.
24 or your 25 first and his 24 first. Then
Right.
then the guy that takes over his team wants to like, oh, I wish I had my 24 first, but it's like, dude, you're picking up an orphan team. Like,
Right.
if we
You knew what
undo
you were getting into.
if we undo that trade, then it's like, okay, you're gonna give me Deshaun Watson for a future first, but then he's gonna bitch, and
Yeah.
if we totally undo that trade, then it's like, well, if I still would have had a 5th rounder, I would have drafted someone else. You would have drafted maybe someone else in the 11th round or whatever. It's
Yep.
just it's too big a mess to undo. If you just wants to play in a different league, that's what you got to do. Um,
Yep. You take an inactive team in the middle of a draft. You get what you get. You know.
yeah,
Now you got to trade to make your team however you want, and go from there. I mean, that's literally the whole point. And I've sent that dude to trades or try to reach out to him to make trades, and he refuses. He just gives me a thumbs up, and that's it. So, fuck you.
um,
So,
yeah. That reminds me. I updated for the people watching. Updated the Discord a little bit. If you I do have a spot now if you want to advertise your league, if you're looking for other people to join your fantasy football leagues, or if you have a dynasty league and you need people to take over an orphan.
mhm.
There's spots in the Discord to do that and to play us in other leagues, and just chat about fantasy football, talk about
Yep.
news. If you're someone that creates content, there's an area to post that too, where we'll be posting these videos.
Yep.
Yeah, so let's go to the teams here.
Yeah.
We're
Sorry.
not totally done with the draft, so for the people watching, I can't show you that, but here I can click on their name, and then you can see like the board, who they have so far.
Right. And then we won't spend too much time on it because the teams are just disasters as as it is. So we'll just kind of go through it and
Yeah, so Haynes Fantasy. Let's just talk short term, long term. Short term, it's looking good. Barkley, Henry,
yep,
Diggs, Watson, Pittman,
yep.
Mike Williams.
Madison, we'll see what happens this year with the
Yeah,
Vikings.
yeah.
What's up in there?
Addison will be good. Let me see.
Jared Goff is
And
a
then
short-term option there.
Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, good short term. So yeah,
Yep.
short term, he's good. He'll be contending this season. Long
Hmm.
term, this is a disaster though.
Yep.
Two older running backs, um, Michael Thomas and
Hmm.
Williams. They could be done any season.
Yep.
Same thing with Diggs, Kamara, older and
Yep.
legal trouble.
Yep.
Um, so
Bunch of old guys.
yeah, disaster. This is the dude too. Again, it's so funny. You brought up the whole back-to-back picks. Like, come on,
Yep.
dude. Again, just on people. And this
Mm-hmm.
was a guy again. You can see he has Herbert. He traded me the Herbert Mahomes. Begs me.
Yep.
All right, moving on to Elway.
Uh,
Elway
for
or the boy?
starters, with Elway, this guy, you can tell, does not know one thing about football. Because on his team is only big names.
Yeah.
There's legitimately only big names besides Sam Howell. It's all people of the past, or old, or legal trouble, or are going to retire in a year or two. Besides Josh Allen and Najee Harris.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
again, this is a team. Um, in terms of short term, yeah, I like. He'll be competing this year too. Again, this is a
Mm-hmm.
guy Elway. I think I told you he came to me trying to trade his 24 and 25th first, but not worth a whole lot. After he
Right.
drafted Kelsey and Cooper Cup, because
Yep.
obviously, might have even been after he drafted Devonte Adams. Regardless,
Mm-hmm.
obviously competing. Um, so no, not interested. Any other? So yeah, short term might even be a little bit better than Haynes, but
Yep.
long term, just as much as a disaster.
Yep. He'll be a problem this year, but after this year, he might be a complete non-factor. All right. And so my team, I'll just let you
Or
speak and
Papa,
then
Papa.
oh yeah, Papa. No, my bad.
Um,
Disaster. This is a awful, awful mess. Um, well, for starters, he's got four quarterbacks. Trey Lance, who, well, I don't like it, but he's got Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud, so there's some upside there. But he's got Deshaun Watson as his number one. I don't know where all of a sudden all the fantasy people around think Deshaun Watson's going to be this fantasy football god. He was absolutely awful last year. Awful when he came back.
yeah.
He's going to be awful again. um, he's got JJ, Rashad Bateman, Cole Kmet, and then like a bunch of non-namers in the other spots.
So
So,
in his defense, again, the play me, just the original owner was here for
yep.
3 rounds, and then we auto picked some rounds, and then another dude in the league or daddy invited Papa.
Hmm.
Um, and I mean, I think right around Devon A Chain, the ninth round is when he actually started picking.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, his team. I'm very glad. Very glad I have the first there. Not gonna be. Yeah, just auto pick. I don't get why they did back to back quarterbacks with Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud. You just take one or the other. You
Yep.
know, you don't go both. So
Unless you're hurting.
short term disaster, long term still a disaster because he doesn't have first round picks, or at least his
Yeah.
own. He has always, but again, that'll be a later pick.
Yep.
All right, moving on to your team here.
You go ahead and you say your thoughts first, and then I'll kind of say my strategy that I was kind of aiming for, and if it worked or not.
So yeah, short term, Jalen Hurts, good. Bryce Young. So actually, I was saving to say this on the podcast. This is one of the better values
Mhm.
in the whole draft. Late second round, getting Brees Hall.
Yep.
He's my RB1. You got
Yep.
him fourth RB overall. Again, first in terms of Dynasty because he's young. In a redraft league, sure, CMC. But
Mm-hmm.
again, we're playing Dynasty here. Um, Looking at it. And then, a couple tight ends. Jordan Addison, then George Kittle. Um, it'll be interesting, too, because I think people try and send you some good packages for tight ends. Like, there's a Travis Kelce injury, a Kyle Pitts injury.
Yep.
Those kind of people are competing. They'll send you picks.
Yep.
Will you take it? You'll see. Um, then going down here, Zay Flowers, Zach Charbonnet. Am I in love with Charbonnet? No.
No.
But I don't know. You have a higher grade on him than me. But again, you gotta remember too. Like in these big leagues, not all 11 starters are gonna be perfect.
No.
You're gonna have some weak spots. Some weak chains.
Yep.
Keep going on here. Will Levis. Oh wow, you didn't go any other quarterbacks?
No. That's why I kind of had to take Will Levis, and I'll get to that.
Well, I guess Jimmy G is still on the board. Stafford.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but then otherwise, receivers wise at the end here. I mean, you took some I like. Brandon Cooks, at least for the
Yep.
short term. Jalen Hyatt. Um, uh, he's someone I liked. I wasn't to the point where I was going to try to trade into the 12th round to get him.
Sure.
And I mean, I already planned to pick him in one of our other leagues, so I don't need him
Yep.
in every league. Tyler Boyd, I think he's a good asset in this kind of league. So
Mm-hmm.
flex, and then Alan Lazard. I almost traded the last two picks. I just wanted Alan Lazard because one big week I could easily sell him for
Yep.
picks, players, whatever. Because we play with idiots.
Yep.
Um, but no, your flex will be really solid. Receiver wise, you'll be really solid. So yeah, you'll be short term. Yeah, you'll be competing this year. Probably in between Haynes and Elway.
Yep.
If not higher. Long term, you're in a better position than the first three teams we reviewed. Definitely.
Yep. And then, like, overall, so I had a specific strategy I was going to go into this. One, I wanted to dive into more of the trading picks aspect, get a little bit better handle on value, currency, see kind of where our league mates were at in terms of if they knew what they were doing or not.
No.
Found out pretty quick that they did not. And I mean, this could be for a different time. I had my first pick right off the bat, a major trade, because my whole goal was to have a decent amount of picks in the first couple rounds, right? So you get your superstars, but I wanted quite a bit of the late picks, right? I wanted the 6 or 7 picks in that 10, 11, 12-ish range, because that's where all the really sneaky picks are, like the Tyler Boyd, the Brandon Cooks, Brandon Ayuk, who went way too early, and I was real pissed off about that, and like Aaron Rodgers. I was waiting to take my second quarterback to the later rounds because Aaron Rodgers and even Kirk Cousins went way sooner than they were supposed to, which was really, really surprising. So, and then one thing that I noticed was nobody was taking any tight ends and in a tight end premium league. So, hey, I'll take 2, 3, and 4 for the best tight ends in the league, and then I'll sell them off for any other pieces once the injuries start popping up and people start realizing how much they're actually worth. Because if you ask Elway, they're not worth even a 10th round wide receiver value. So thought that was very interesting. But I definitely wanted to get a little bit of a good mix, right? I have a decent amount of a couple vets, but I hit it pretty hard on the rookies. One thing I do kind of pride myself in, I hit more on the rookies than I do on the busts. So hopefully, here comes the bitching. So hopefully they turn out how I want to, but I got some really really sneaky picks. So overall, I'm happy with it so far. If we end up having to toss this damn league out, I'll be kind of pissed just with kind of how I have things starting to set up for the future, because I can easily get some extra picks for the next year to give you a little bit of a run for your money here if I need to. So.
All right, and yeah, again, with all our dynasty leagues, we always do win 3 championships. You win the whole league. You know, the league's just done at that point, and that's definitely how I played. So looking at my squad, I did some trades.
Let's swap it real quick. Let me let me go through this real quick, and then you go ahead and try to explain, because I have some questions.
Okay.
So I'm just looking at the team just overall, right? So you got the Patrick Mahomes from the stupid trade.
Otherwise, I would have had Herbert. Yeah.
Right. Otherwise, you would have Herbert, but still, both really solid. Just obviously a little more happy to have Mahomes than Herbert. Is what it is, right? Running backs. What the fuck is going on with your running back room? One thing that you've always been able to do in all the other leagues is you've always been really solid when it comes to running backs. I've never heard of Chase Brown in my life, and I clicked on him. Well, you're right, but he's like, he was selected in the 5th round. Who the So, but otherwise, you don't have any other running backs currently, right? But you do have the couple of the sneaky picks, right? You got Drake London, you have JSN, who you're really big on going into this year. Dalton Kincaid, which you sniped me on big time. Quinn Johnson.
No one was taking Kincaid from me.
Quinn Johnson. We were talking, obviously a little bit higher on him than I am, but it's still really really good pick. So overall, wide receiver room's really really solid, and then Kincaid is definitely going to be one of those sneaky picks for sure. Jameson Williams currently suspended for 6 games, so that'll be interesting, but you got plenty of depth.
I did not think I was going to get him. He was falling big time because everyone's playing. No one wants to suspend the guy.
Right. You also got Michael Myers, so you have 2 rookie tight ends, so hey, one of them's got to work out, you would think. And then you got my boy Derek Carr as your backup quarterback, even though he's not going to do anything this year. That's what I've been told by gurus. And then you got Desmond Ritter, who I could care less about. So overall, what thought process? What the hell's going on with your running backs? Obviously, really solid for quarterbacks and wide receivers. What you got working?
So again, for people that don't know, I got some 1st round picks for next year and some early seconds. And even in 2025, I got some 1st and 2nds. That should be good. So once some of those deals went through, my strategy just kind of became playing for next year. Just accepting I'm gonna compete, but I'm probably 1 year away.
Yeah.
Looking at it here again, real solid at quarterback. Four young, well, yeah, four young receivers I like a lot. The last one I just took there, John Michi, a little bit of a shot in the dark. We'll see coming back from cancer how he does. He was a second round pick 2 years ago.
Mhm.
And with Derek Carr, he was someone that was kind of falling.
Yep.
People were ignoring him, I guess, because he got benched. People hate him. Uh, I guess the thinking is kind of after some injuries, he may be a good trade offer or a good player to trade. We'll see what happens there. I could trade him for picks, trade him for a running back.
Mhm.
Um, who's to say they wouldn't give me like a Rashad White or I don't know, Miles Sanders or someone like that. And then I got a solid running back. But no, I'm confident that with the picks I got, I could get some real solid running backs
Yeah.
in the draft next year. Um,
No, for sure.
Desmond Ritter, again, I believe in him. I'm telling everyone that I believe in the Falcons, at least offensively.
Yeah.
Defensively, I think they'll be a mess, but I think they can make some strides, kind of like Detroit made this year. Score a lot of points on offense in a dome, bad division. Um, yeah, otherwise I like that. Chase Brown pick. Um, I don't even know what to say. I mean, just sees Joe Mixon. He's like the only other Bengals uh,
Running back.
running back besides Joe Mixon, and who knows if Mixon, with his off the field issues between that and just injuries in general, if he makes it. Otherwise, boom. In the 11th round, I got a good running back. I got some others in mind, but I'm like real focused on like, okay, who can I pick? Their value will go up at some point. I can trade later. And yeah, it'll this league might not last too long. I
No.
get some good running backs in the draft next year, and if these receivers and players hit, then it's over.
Right.
Moving on here, Daddy Devontae. He is currently on the clock. Um,
um. Overall, it's fine. There's not nothing too splashy that I love besides Amon Ra, Jamar Chase. Um, that's honestly it. I hate the Jordan Love pickup. Um, yeah, Antonio Gibson, he got off a trade. It's a really weird, pointless trade for nobody, and then he got Antonio Gibson. It is kind of weird. Um, Elijah Moore is fine. I kind of like Elijah Moore, but I don't like his quarterback. Anthony Richardson, I mean, you're kind of risking it on a rookie. So, and J.K. Dobbins is always hurt. So,
so
yeah.
yeah, a lot. This guy like short term don't like his team. Long term, we'll see. Like he's got two quarterbacks that haven't played a whole lot. Well, one hasn't
Mhm.
played at all. Rookie Anthony Richardson. Um, Running backs, I don't see any kind of real big hitters there. I mean, unless you're nuts about J.K. Dobbins, but yeah, he like had a good rookie season, but 3 years later now, we'll see.
Yeah.
Um, Traylon Burks, he was a first round pick a year ago. I mean, quarterback situation there isn't the best, but didn't score a lot of points. Not crazy about him. Elijah Moore, no. Older and not that good. Sky Moore. So, like, his first three receivers I really like, but his last three receivers, what the fuck was he thinking? Like, honestly. Tight end wise, Greg Dulcich. Some people like him. So, here's the deal. Last year, they threw to the tight end actually quite a bit in Denver. It felt like watching the games. This year, new coach, I don't know about that. You know, we'll see. And again, this Tennessee tight end, let me pull it up. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just, like, not familiar with this guy at all.
Why
This guy
are you
isn't
doing
a
that?
rookie. He's got 1 year experience, gathered in 3 or 4 targets. Finished as the tight end, 25 in PPR. Yeah.
Not great.
All right, I guess people think he's gonna believe in him for some reason.
Right.
I don't know. We'll see. And again, Gibson and Harris, they'll play a little bit. You know, I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah, this guy's currently on the clock. So short term, not so great. Long term, not so great either. Moving on. All right, Liam.
Your
This guy-
favorite person in our league.
This guy, I also have his first, and I'm very glad I have his first. Okay, let's start off. So he trades back in the first round. Dumb. Like,
Yep.
I like CeeDee Lamb, but you gotta take a top quarterback. Like, come on, man. Jonathan Taylor over Brees Hall didn't make a lot of sense to me, but okay. So I see this on TikTok sometimes talking about Jonathan Taylor quick, like, and I do agree with a rookie quarterback there, Anthony Richardson. It is a little bit of a concern. What if he's QB sneaking in the red zone and stuff and taking away those touchdowns or just carries in general?
Yeah.
Little bit of concerning. My grade on him has gone down a little bit. Travis Etienne, like him. It's like, I agree he's a third rounder. I don't know. We'll see. Kyler Murray in the third round when he's projected in the fourth. Whew. I was originally, again, after some trades, I was starting to play for next year. I was hoping to get Kyler Murray actually, and I don't care. You know, he just would have rolled the bench. I would have used Desmond Ridder instead, whatever. Until Murray got back. I remember he made the pick and he made a comment like, "Trust the process. I'll just have some other guy for week 1." No, dude, listen to the reports. Murray's gone until like midway through the season. And if they're bad, they're not gonna put him out there for meaningless games.
Right.
Moving on, Calvin Ridley overrated too.
Yep.
But you know, again, there's people from TikTok, so they're gonna take the TikTok stars.
So that's exactly what I was gonna say. This dude literally followed the TikTok algorithm and picked what the TikTok gurus say to pick. That's all he did. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Then we got Dalvin Cook, DeAndre Hopkins. Both don't even have a team. Smart. Dalvin Cook, I don't even know if he's going to play next year. I don't think he's going to play. So, very dumb pick. D-Hop, just older. I mean, afterwards, like, you still got Mike Williams on the board, Amari Cooper, Hollywood Brown, Keenan Allen. Like, there's still, if you wanted an older receiver, I'm just saying, there's still those guys with a quarterback.
On a team.
Yeah. Mike Evans, again, just older. He's towards the end of his career. I was always the Mike Evans, believer. And then he played with Tom Brady, and everyone liked him, and now it's coming to an end. Baker now. And now his other quarterback, Kenny Pickett. We'll see. Looks like that's going to be his QB1 to begin the season.
Yep.
So, and then just the end, some whatever picks. So here's the deal with him. It's like his team. It's like again with my draft, it's obvious I'm thinking long term. Um, with this guy, it's like he's thinking short term, Dalvin Cook, D Hop, but at the same time he's thinking long term. Kyler Murray because he's not going to start the season.
Right. He's thinking long term without actually picking any rookies.
Yeah. So this is another guy. Yeah, I don't like him short term or long term. Like he'll probably just be caught in the middle forever. Like that's. I mean, his receivers will be able to score points, but for how long? And his running backs too.
He totally sniped Adam Thielen from me too. Completely sniped him from me.
That being said, I like Brandon Cooks and Alan Lazard more. And you got those guys afterwards, at least for next season. We'll see after that. So yeah, glad I got his first. I'm sure I'll use it on a running back next year. Next, Kate Burns. So is this a chick? I assume with that.
I think so.
Okay, so I'm gonna say she. Again, this is a solid looking squad. She was picking names like the terminology you keep using, definitely. Someone else had this team, and then Elway, I believe, asked to add her. I think she took over around Josh Jacobs' pick, around there, third round.
Yeah, it's pretty early.
Just looking at it here, again, names, no rookies.
One thing I found kind of interesting, I don't know if you caught it, and it's something for us to keep an eye on, is because she was the first person to make a wrong pick. And before she said anything, Elway reached out and said, "Oh no, she picked the wrong person." So I don't know if it's his wife, girlfriend,
There's no way
roommate.
Married. There's no way this dude is married. Let's be real.
Lesbian friend.
Best friend.
Right. But it was really it threw me for a loop, and I've been kind of watching this account a little heavier.
Yeah.
Besides the two Joshes, just because of that little mistake or whatever there too. So, just something for us to kind of keep an eye on.
Yeah. I'm with you there. A little sus. For her team, short term, top 5, top 4.
Yeah.
Yep. You got your hitters. Long term, no, I'm not crazy about this team. Waller, Hill, Jacobs, all older. Lockett, older. Myers,
Christian Kirk, earlier.
Trash pick to me. Stafford. Just
on his way out.
Yeah. Moving on to 4 images. Now this is the guy that, again, you said the whole Jonathan Taylor over Justin Fields or something like that in a mock when you already had a quarterback.
Yep.
To remind you, again, this guy was talking up Justin Fields, and then he picks Trevor Lawrence when Justin Fields was still on the board. And in that mock draft, you did the same thing with Trevor Lawrence. And then you went Taylor or whoever in the second round. And, he traded back to get Waddle. And then the 9th round pick, Deontay Johnson. That was a good trade by him. And and now on the clock, if you want to. I will say this guy's team looks a lot like some of my mocks. Like receivers, I would take Waddle, Jerry Jeudy, Ayuk, Dotson, and then smash running back in the end. And hopefully by September, some of the starters are hurt. So.
Yep. He is somebody that you can kind of tell he was kind of watching our box and kind of where our head was at, because he took Brandon Ayuk really early. In most mocks, Brandon Ayuk was going in like the 10th round, if not a little bit later, where I was hoping to snag him before you would snipe me. So if anything, he went and tried to snipe both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, whether it was to see if we would give him some kind of reaction or not, or whatever. I like Deontay Johnson. Obviously he's a little bit older, but he has pretty sneaky games. The only thing is that was with Big Ben, and not so much Kenny Pickett. um, he was like all hyped because he thought the T Higgins one was a steal. I, when T Higgins hurts his finger, he chooses not to play. So we'll see. But overall, I mean, will he be a contender? Yeah. Is it a long term? Absolutely not.
I will say, for the people that picked after me and then before the T Higgins pick, I would take T Higgins over Adams and Ridley in a dynasty startup. Like, I think
Yeah.
those guys were kind of tripping. London, I can definitely see where people would question it with the quarterback situation over Higgins. But London is younger. And it's funny, I was actually just watching some fantasy TikTok, and there were people that agreed with me. London over Higgins, talking about a different trade. But yep, moving on here. Again, it's just like this guy is like saying, I have no idea what I'm talking about. But right, this guy's team, looks like my mocks. Even my man Kyle Pitts is on here for tight ends, but
Yep.
whatever.
Next guy, Josh. One of the more annoying guys in this league. And his number one is Justin Fields for quarterback. I hate it. Justin Fields, while I think he's really talented, he is on the wrong team. For his talent, for what he could do, it'll be kind of like one of those things where the Lions wasted Matthew Stafford's career in his prime. Chicago's going to waste Justin Fields in his prime, and he's going to keep getting hurt. He was splashing a little bit last year, but that's all he's ever going to do in Chicago without weapons. He's just going to splash, and then that's it. Eckler, like the pick, but dynasty-wise, not the smart pick. But, I mean, overall, it's older guys, Juju, this is his third team. I love Juju, but not a smart dynasty pick. Irv Smith, you're a little higher on him than I am.
I don't know if I am. I'm not too crazy about either of these tight ends, honestly. That Pat Freiermuth, he ended like last season like the 11th, but still, I'm not that crazy about him.
And then he's got Mac Jones as his backup. Awful. Mac Jones, I believed in him when he was a rookie, and he has not shown me anything. But he also doesn't have any good weapons except for, I guess, now with Juju. But it's for how long, right? This is Dynasty, long-term thinking, and long-term wise, this is not a smart move. So overall, this is like an F grade tier for me personally.
Yeah. So with here's the deal with Justin Fields in the first round. I feel like you're taking him at like his ceiling. Like he has got to be like Lamar We have got to think of him as like Lamar Jackson by the end of the season to justify that pick. If we still have questions, then is a horrible pick. So short term, I'm not crazy about this guy. Long term, I don't see a whole. Maybe Damian Pierce. Garrett Wilson. That I'm like really that crazy about. So I would say slightly below average for both long term and short term.
Yep.
Moving on here, best receiver. I don't think we need to talk about him too much. Just he's been inactive. one of the
The
4
third round.
inactives.
Yeah, he picked the first 2 rounds, and then he just never showed up again. Really weird. You would think in a tight end premium that even the auto pick would have at least picked one tight end, and nope. So
No, so he's
disaster of
taking
a team.
he's taking way too many running backs too, and then like his 2 top receivers are the same team. So here's the thing: if this was a best ball league, I've thought about it, and that's not dumb to do, because then you'll always be starting like the best receiver, or if
Yeah.
like you take 2 running backs at split time, then you always got the best one in the lineup. But
Yep.
in a start league, then it's like you're always going to pick the one that got all the touchdowns and balls, and then you're not starting, or then you're also starting the one that was quiet that week. So,
Yep.
dumb. But,
Yep.
yep.
Um,
Anything else on this guy?
no. So Tavink. Kind of one of the more irritating people to deal with in the league, just with what he wants for trades. He's only interested in moving up, and he overvalues all his picks. And if he has given away one of his double picks, he won't give away the other one unless you give him a little extra, or you tell him you're not going to trade with him, and then he gives in. He tried to trade me Christian McCaffrey super early on for like my second, and then like a bunch of other shit, and I told him to go fuck himself. So, and then because I told him I was gonna get Jahmyr Gibbs to kind of psych him out, and then he went traded up and took Jahmyr Gibbs just to spite me. Mind games, mind games.
Yeah.
So this guy, he's definitely somebody who looks like he was watching our stuff because he drafted a team that I was talking about when it comes to Aaron Jones, Jahmyr Gibbs, Joe Burrow, Chris Olave. That was one of the guys that I was picking in a lot of mocks.
Sam Laporta, he stole from me in the 9th round.
Right, and we spent quite a bit of time talking about him.
Yeah.
Elijah Michelle, I think he's a sneaky pick because CMC's gonna get hurt. Mingo, that's one of your picks. So this is somebody that's went back, listened to our stuff, and try to snipe us. When it's not the smartest thing to do, because sometimes we're saying things that, while it might be true on paper, not exactly how we're actually going to go in a real draft. We're not going to give you our cut and paste, what exactly we're going to do. It's, hey, this is where it's fallen, and this is what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
So,
and I mean,
not the smartest move.
The real deal too. We have trades. Mocks, we're not trading. Mocks, we're always going for a balanced team, young, old, competing, and built for the future. Where, when I can get a whole bunch of firsts in the startup draft, I'm going for the future.
Yeah.
Going for 3. So, his team, it'll be competing. I like Russ more than you. And I mean, Russ is just his second in Superflex. Burrow's a starter. Yep. Goddard, Laporta, tight end, solid. Receivers probably where he's weakest at. Chris Olave, Debo. Running backs, he's got too many. I don't get why he did Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, both with Green Bay. So short term, competing, making the playoffs, top 6. Long term,
not great.
Yeah, I'd say average. He's still got his future picks. He'll need another quarterback. and receiver help. Here's the deal too with PPR and then the tight end premium. I don't know how many running backs I want in my flex spots.
Not a lot.
Just nowadays, I would rather have receivers there.
Yep.
I have a whole bunch of young ones. But yeah, otherwise, this video, is part one. We're not gonna do this every week. Update you on our leagues, but throughout time, we'll do these kind of league or videos to update you. This was an experiment for us. Still is.
Yep.
Lots
of things that we're going to change next year, depending on where we're at on things.
Yeah. Yep. So. You want to play us, again, join my Discord. We'll figure it out. If you have a league that you want to invite people to, join my Discord. Anything fantasy football, hit us up there. Anything else you want to say?
No. We're gonna. It sounds like Jackson is gonna come out of retirement for best ball, so you'll get 3 very experienced. 3 very experienced fantasy football players, 2 gurus, and a still semi-amateur at things. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll have more information on that here soon. But the league's already made, so feel free to join up.
All right.